Hello there, this is Doug Bates from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, coming at you from inside my little jungle, next to my leg extension machine, my Magnum leg extension. I am here to give you some data that you may not know about when it comes to the best way to approach exercise. Exercise is the best approach as an independent study, N of one, in one moment in time. What does that all mean? Again, independent study, N of one moment in time. Each and every day and experience is unique and different and not a routine. Let's look at that. Independent study, what is that? When I was in college, and I have a master's degree in sociology, one of the best things I ever got to do was take classes with an instructor who'd let me pick my own area of study. And in sociology, you can pick any area of study you want. And so indeed, with exercise, you pick any area of study you want. You want to work on your glutes, you work on your glutes. You want to work on your abs, you work on your abs. You want to work on your lungs, you work on your lungs. You want to work on your running speed, you work on your running speed. You want to work on your dancing, you work on your dancing. You want to work on your martial arts, you work on your martial arts. You want to work on anti-aging, you work on anti-aging, which is usually about everything. So what I'm saying is independent study means you get to do your own investments and there are no routines as such that work. You think, okay, I need a routine. I need to do 5 sets of 5, 5 sets of 15, whatever it is, because I'm doing power and strength instead of 5 or 15. That is not true. You might do power by pulling down and holding. Just pull and hold the weight. You might do an exercise that's just bend over and hold something. That strength moves like a gymnast. That single rep max, held for 5 or 8 seconds or 3 seconds, depending, is a tremendous way to build strength and electrical activity in a muscle system that is really, really beneficial. When you build that beneficial muscular strength, you can then add reps later. So for some people, it's not a good idea to do sets of 5 or sets of 8. It's a good idea to do single holds and then build from there. If it means you're really weak, you might start with a 20-pound pull down and just practice holding that 20-pound pull down until everything turns on properly. If you can't get one good rep, you sure as heck shouldn't be doing 2 or 3 or 4. All right? So what I look for is when I'm training people, I don't believe in sets and reps because sets and reps tend to get sloppy and we tend to then pace ourselves to get all 10 or 15 reps. If you think, oh, I'll do a set of 10, or I'll go for 40 seconds. People might do a set of 10 because they can get 5 good ones, then they hurry through the last group. Or they might go for 20 seconds, they get so tired, they start to not go as deep in their squats for the next 20 seconds to make all 40 seconds of a squat. Or they relax part of their body that you should be holding tight. Let's say their core or something in their upper back, and then they're really pacing to the squat, squeezing their legs, but ignoring their upper body. So I try and find ways to keep people engaged fully and not trying to pace themselves. Instead, engage every muscle you need to, just like in gymnastics with good form, or in figure skating with great form. When you can't, in figure skating, lift your head, smile, and bring your leg up high enough, it won't really count for the judges, and it won't really count for activating that particular nerve plexi that's beneficial. So when you want to de-age the body or anti-age the body, you have to develop at least the 7 known chakra points, the 7 known nerve plexi, the cranial ones, the upper thoracic and neck ones, the lower thoracic ones, the pelvic floor sciatic plexus ones. That's a lot of nerve plexi that most people tend to not even be able to engage fully. They'll take a piano and they'll play in it and it'll sound out of tune. Their guitar will have some bad strings. They don't have 7 perfect strings to their guitar, and therefore any string that's off, any part of that piano that doesn't play perfectly is going to be a problem when they come to perform. So if they have running without a good upper back, their arms will have no drive. If they have no strong core, they can't transfer. If they have no pelvic floor, they have no speed, no power. If they have no head, they may have problems with perception and even breathing still and being able to freely look around like Usain Bolt in the 100-yard dash where he's setting that world record. He's just looking around like, why is this so easy? Because he had extra plexi and powerful core work that made it so easy that he had no problem performing at a high level, making it look simple. And look at top tennis players. Our vegan Nika, Djokovic. He's talented. And he's talented because he's left no weak part in his game. His head is clearly involved in his game, making him exceptional because he doesn't walk in with anxiety and panic. He doesn't walk in with arrogance. And so that true is part of the brain game. So when you're looking at how to do independent study, what happens, people come into the gym and they think, here's a trainer who's going to look after me and tell me what to do all the time. Yes, he's going to look after you. That's what I would do. But I will not tell you what to do all the time. You would have to come forth with your own intelligence. You got to bring your brain here, bring your creative skill here, and you've got to access your brain, your creative power, and listening to your soma, listening to your body. and feeling out what your body's telling you, and then begin to, with all the stuff I've armed you with in terms of your exercises, and in terms of the knowledge, and the stuff I add daily. I add stuff daily to each and every client for years on end. They then take that information and they perform with it. It's like learning new songs. And then when they learn a new song, they also learn new components of how to play the song differently. So when they go to concert, they don't make the same boring routine, and they also gain skill. And 40 years later, they're still playing in concert with live systems in a creative way, in a way that feels pleasing and engaging, in a way that keeps them mentally involved, spiritually involved, so that their soul is happy and they're enjoying. They don't have to get bored living to 120 years, because 120 years can never be boring if you're always doing things creatively and with your will engaged with your heart, with your spirit, with your soul, with your full brain and your full creative potential, which includes all the cognitive thoughts, all the critical thinking. So how do you put that all together? That's up to you. You've got to bring your brain, bring your best self, bring a self that's engaged in dialoguing with only yourself. No, with yourself and with someone like myself. As a trainer, I have 800 square foot space available nonstop for you when you come in, because I have no other clients walking in. There's no one else in the gym. All the equipment's available for you. And you get to use it without having to wait for your turn because someone else is on that. You can do 3 sets in a row on the same piece of equipment. You can go from 1 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 pieces of equipment in a row. You go back in 14, 2 or 3, and I will let you go where you want to go to make up your own routine, and I will give you feedback as you go. It's like it's paying off. We don't start there. We start with, where do you first deal with the remediation of anything this week? If your guitar is strong, you've got 7 guitar strings and 2 of them are broken, I've got to look after those, because you can't train with broken guitar strings. You can't play most songs. If you have almost nothing, you have to start with a real bad program. It looks like, how do you fix the pelvic floor? How do you fix the lung? How do you fix the respiration? Most people do not come in ancient or untrained. They come with already athletes at some level, already have an athletic background at least, and already eating right. That's why I recommend people be non-smokers, non-drinkers when possible, obviously. I'm in Milwaukee, so I always get the non-drinker. But non-smokers, organic, eat organic whenever possible. Already doing intelligent thinking, intelligent relationship creation. They're not exhausted, they're not burned out, already having a job that someone can tolerate and like, or even love. And they might love their job, but they might not like parts of it. That's part of how we also develop skill, to make sure that you develop physical skill to then also approach the change in the job that you like, to go back, talk to the employer, rework things. And people take their strength they've gained and rework their work situations. They take a challenge to the system and they bring changes in that system that their bosses need to be talked to. They talk to their bosses in a meaningful way and in a way that produces positive outcomes. They don't always go to battle with them. They go to a way that gets outcomes. It's outcome-based training, outcome-based engagement. No one's fighting with anybody. We're here to get results. We're here to bring things forward. And so in that argument then, or that statement of fact, because it's not really an argument, you can then discover that the body is capable of making progress. The personality and the character is capable of making progress. The relationship with yourself is capable of making progress. The relationship with others is capable of making progress. And that makes anti-aging possible and exercise far more effective. So I'm going to suggest to you that independent study training is an overlooked area of approaching exercise. Not having a routine when you walk in. Even the gymnast doesn't take, because I was a gymnast for a while in high school. Only a very short time. About a season. Then they canceled the program because Milwaukee had no money and no funding for gymnastics. But I tried it my sophomore year, and nobody in the gymnastics team, we had 5 all-arounds, and 3 of them went to state in my school, which is amazing. None of them did every apparatus every day. They usually chose only a couple apparatuses to focus on. Usually the ones they needed to get better at. Not just the ones they loved, the ones they need to get better at, because otherwise they can't win an all-around, they can't get to state. They had to make each and every apparatus equally good in order to really succeed. If you want to get to state in something, and they did, someone is all-around, and someone is specialist in apparatuses. And they had to become really good. Even in apparatus, they still had to make that parallel bar routine look good, that high bar routine look good, that vault look good, et cetera, and go against the 20 or so people from around the state. That's how I look at it. How can you become exceptional? How can you treat yourself like an Olympic athlete that gets the rest you need, the nutrition you need, and everything else? So I'm going to hang up here and remind you that Better Results Personal Training in Milwaukee, Ageless Personal Training, is a brand new website I'm developing that'll be also available to remind you that I'm almost 60. Don't imagine my energy looks like I'm 60. I'm 58 and a half, and I'm almost 60. So how is it that that's possible? I look after myself. I make good decisions, and I maintain my health without drugs, without creams, without any gels, and without any kind of even exceptional taking of herbs to maintain my testosterone, because I simply eat and live the lifestyle. So I'll hang up. Look for you reaching out to me. Reach out, bring your questions, make a phone call, go to my website, betterresultspersonaltraining.com, and seek out your own excellence. Become the hero in your own hero's journey and be successful. I'm going to hang up and enjoy talking to you when I see you. Bye-bye.